Hello folks, welcome to another value-packed, exciting edition of Flip Buster, where we teach you all that is to know regarding flipping, wholesaling, rehabbing, getting funding, and everything in between. And today is part 2 of a 3-part series that we're doing on Bandit Signs. And in today's episode, we'll be looking at how to make the famous Bandit Sign hammer by yourself and how to make it right at your home. So before we proceed, just a quick disclaimer. As always, make sure you check all of your local and state applicable laws and rules and regulations regarding Bandit Signs. So make sure you take a look at them and you're not doing anything that you're not supposed to be doing or is considered illegal. So first, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves the material that's needed to make the Bandit Sign hammer from Home Depot. And once we do that, we will bring it back and put it together. And I'm very excited. I also have the liquid of my choice in my hand. So here we are at the Home Depot. Let's go ahead and check out to see what are the items that we're going to be needing for our Bandit Sign hammer. So let's come inside. Alright, so for our first item, which is the PVC pipe, we're going to be using 1.5 inch diameter PC, and that's this thing right here. Alright, so the next item that we need is this flexible rubber coupling, and here's what you're looking for. So another item that we're going to need is a cap. So most of the things we're going to be getting is they're going to be in line with the 1.5 inch specs. Right now in the hardware section, so in the hardware section you can find these metallic plates, rods, whatever you want to call them. They come in all shapes and sizes. What we're looking for is this thing up here. So this is a flat bar, it's called, 1/8 inch of thickness, and it's 2 inches wide by 36 inches long. So this is what you're looking for, and the price tag for this, it's this thing right here. Right, so another item that we need is gonna be 1.75 to 2 3/4 of an inch. So this is what you're gonna need. It's called a stainless steel hose clamp. This is what it looks like, and we're gonna need 3 of these. Now we're gonna go look for the star of the show, and we're gonna find that in our tools section. There's an arrow. So this is a tested and tried brand, been around for a long time. I love using this. Once you have this, it's gonna be just putting them together. That's pretty much it. Alright, now that we have resourced our materials that we need for our Bandit Sign hammer, we're gonna go ahead and start putting them together. That's the fun part, so let's see how that's done. Alright, so now that we have the stuff that we bought from Home Depot for our Bandit Sign hammer in front of us, we'll go ahead and put it together. It doesn't even take maybe 5 to 10 minutes maximum, even if you haven't done it before. Just a few items up here. Let's go through them one more time. So this is up here. I have my PVC, the one that we bought. We got it 10 feet. So you can break it down into 3 pieces. So this one here is right around 39 inches. So this is 3 inches on top of 3 feet. So you can easily get 3 Bandit Sign hammers from the 10-foot pole that we bought. So your price is going to be divided by 3. So whatever the pole cost, divided that by 3, because you're going to have 3 Bandit Sign hammers. Or if you want to make just one, you can cut off a 3. You can even cut a 4 feet piece off of it, depending on how. You don't want it to be too long, because once you go to put it on the poles, it becomes a little difficult and it gives you some slag in there. So 3 to 4 feet is the best height. It gives you a reach of somewhere around 10 feet. Some people that do it while jumping, you can even get more than 10 feet, but you don't really need more than 10 feet. Ideal height is anywhere between 8 to 9, probably 10 maximum. And that's what we're gonna get from this setup. So this is our 1.5 inch PVC that we have. I've already put the cap on it. This is the cap that we bought separately. So I already glued it on with the PVC glue that you can see right up here. Even if you don't install it, it doesn't matter, because this is just for aesthetics at the bottom. So this piece, you can put it there if you want. You don't have to do that in there. So one thing that I did change, if you recall from the Home Depot, we had this thing up here, and if you look at it, this is 1.5 inch wide. What we saw up there was 3 inches, so I found this thing, and this is actually works as well. So if you can find something that's 1.5 inch wide, get that, or even 2 inches. What we saw up there was 3 inches wide. It was the same length, 36 inches, and the width was 1/8 inch, and this is also 1/8 inch. So the length is same, 36 inches. The thickness is 1/8 of an inch, and for the width I got 1.5 inches. Over there we were looking at 3 inches. They both will work. This is actually a little cheaper, so I said let me go with that, and you will see what's the difference between the two once you put it together. So to put it together, it's very, very simple. The first thing you do is you're gonna put your rings up here through this thing, your PVC, and you're gonna put them up here, and you will put the second one up here too, right? Then you're gonna run your rod, the one that we have up here, and you will run it between the PVC and the ring. So you're gonna push it right through in between, and these can be made bigger. If it's too tight, you just make it big from here, and this is how these things work. So if you loosen it, it loosens it, and if you go clockwise, it tightens it, right? So I've already loosened them up, so this can take the rod, and you push it through the second ring as well, and we can adjust the height of it over here once we put our hammer on. So for now, we'll just leave it right up here, and for the first ring, you want it to be a certain height from the top, and the exact height is going to be determined once we put our hammer on. So I'm going to tighten it up a little bit so it doesn't go all over the place. So we're going to tighten it up a little bit. And same thing for this one. I'm going to bring it over and tighten it right up here. So it's very simple stuff. Anyone can do that. Like I said, it doesn't even take about 5 minutes to put it together. It's only a few screws that you have to tighten up. So for our next step, what I'm going to do is, this is the coupling that we got, 1.5 inches on one side and 1.25 inches on the other. We're going to pop it on top right up here. Make sure it sits in there properly. I'm going to push my rod a little bit further down, and the next step is to tighten it up here. So this end, the one that goes on top of the pipe, you're going to have to tighten this end first. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten it up really quick, give it a few twists, and so you just have to tighten it up to the point where it's nice and secure. You don't have to go too tight. This is all plastic, so if you just tighten it enough, it should be good, and that should be good. The goal is so that it's very nice and snug, and you can move it even by applying force. So the next thing is we're going to take our hammer. So this is, like I said, this is the start of the show. This is the hammer that we looked over there, the arrow. Always make sure the hammer doesn't have a big tail end if you buy some other brand, because some of them, they have big tail end and it's not going to go in here. So it's very important that the height of the hammer or the width at the handle is consistent, and you don't have a bulge in here, because if you do, then it's not going to work, right? So this is the perfect size for this. And now this hammer is going to go into our coupling. You'll have to probably force it a little bit, and it's a perfect fit every single time. So now you're going to twist it around, and you want to position your hammer so the business end of your hammer, which is right up here. So this is the business end. This is the thing that gets pressed and pushes the staple out. So this end has to coincide with your rod. So if you look at over here, it's right in parallel, right? So this is how it needs to be, and you push it all the way in as much as you can go. So if you see, there's a taper up here, so it will go eventually, and as much as you can go down. I try to go all the way in, and now once you're here, you're gonna tighten this thing up, and it's gonna go in place. So we're gonna get that screw, and I'll start tightening it up right over here. And our hammer is pretty much all ready at this point. So we will just tighten up all the screws, and I'll show you how this thing functions in a second. So this is fairly tight now, I don't think it's going anywhere. So now once our hammer is in place, the metallic hammer or the staple hammer, now we can line this up perfectly with our rod. So our rod has to be perfectly lined up with the business end of the hammer. This is where the staples come out, right over here. So you just have to make sure, if you can get a close-up, that these need to be perfectly aligned. So that's why we didn't tighten these up, these screws, in the beginning. Now that we know everything is installed, we're gonna go ahead and tighten these screws as well all the way. So now the position of the hammer, let me get a Bandit sign and I'll show you exactly where you need to place it. So basically you want this to be in a place where you can push it. If you look over here, there's a space between your pipe and your metal, and that's the space where you want to push the Bandit sign in, right up here. So this is where it's gonna go. So now this is a good spot for the ring to be. So if you want if the ring is too high up, it's not gonna go all the way in, or if the ring is too far below, it's not gonna hold it tight. So you want it to be in a place where you can put this Bandit sign in and it stays in there even if it's windy or something. So now you see it's not very tight, but it's good enough that it's not gonna fall. Even if I shake it, it's not gonna fall, right? So I'm gonna bring this ring. So this is basically as far as I want it to be. So I'm gonna bring my ring all the way up here. So this is gonna act as a lock. And the closer it is to the point where you want to be, now it's gonna make it even more tight for the Bandit sign to go in. So it's gonna stay in very nice and snug. So now I'm tightening this up, and as I'm tightening it, it's pulling the metallic bar closer and closer and tighter against the PVC. So what that means is that this thing has become pretty tight now. You see, I can't even get it out easily, so I have to push on it, and now it's coming. So now basically your hammer is ready. All you have to do is push it in here like this, and it's not gonna go anywhere. So now the way this thing works is you're gonna flip it over. So let me flip it over so I don't display the numbers that we have in here. So I'm gonna flip it over like that. So this is how it's configured when you want to put it on, and we'll go outside and we'll show you how it's put on a wooden tree or a pole or anything that's wooden. And all you basically do, you tap it on to the pole really hard, and as you tap it, it's going to apply the force and it's going to drive the staple into the pole. And once you pull this thing down, this thing will be left at the pole, and you pull it down. So this is it. This is how your hammer is made, and you'll be surprised how few people know about this thing. And even if people know, they don't really show you the technique how to make this thing, because they try to make it and sell it to people for a lot of profit. And as you saw, this is I think well under $50. What it does for you and the ease that it brings in attaching the Bandit signs is just priceless. Otherwise you will have to go walk around with a ladder or a step ladder for you to attain a height that's pretty high, right? You can't really put anything that high up until you're there. So this thing, you can just walk around, you pop your Bandit sign in there, and you can actually do it with one hand. If you have practice, you can just go smash it on the pole or whatever wood is there, and you pull it down, and it's going to be very effective. So now we're going to go out there, and we'll probably do a few tests and show you how this thing is worked. All right, now that we have our Bandit sign hammer made, let me show you how easy it is to install the signs as you come up to a pole. So you just take it up here, pop it in like this, and your sign is installed. It's as easy as that. And when you want to take it off, just twist it and take it off. So this is how easy the Bandit sign hammer makes this job. And if you notice, I have quite a reach with this thing. See how far high I can go up there? This is probably about 10 feet. You don't even need to go that up much higher. For anybody driving down the road, this is probably the best vantage point. And this is it. Just a few items. You have your own Bandit sign hammer, and you can make it for other people too, and they'll be very happy with you. And by the way, folks, don't forget to check out our brand new course that we're about to launch down in the description below. This is a course that we're very excited to launch, and it has over tens of years of experience, and is packed with templates, forms, and files that we have acquired and developed especially for the business over time. And people spend a lot of time and years and money to acquire this information. So we'll be bringing it to you in a nice condensed academic fashion. And if you think you're looking to get a little bit more structured education in an academic manner, definitely check out our course. That's something that you will like. So So give it a shot and check it out. Like I said, it'll be launched very soon, and we'll be putting a link to it in the description down below once that's available.